Human rights organizations are supposed to hold power accountable. That's the whole point. But when you actually look at Amnesty International over the years, a pattern emerges. They shine a huge spotlight on governments the West opposes, while barely mentioning the harm caused by the Western powers themselves. It's not that abuses don't exist. They do. But some get headlines, and others barely get a footnote. Let's start with Iraq, 1990. Amnesty published claims that Iraqi soldiers had removed babies from incubators in Kuwait, leading to hundreds of deaths. This story became central in justifying the Gulf War. Later, the claims were proven false, but the war had already started and hundreds of thousands had died. Amnesty eventually retracted the claim quietly. The damage was already done. Then there's Libya, 2011. During NATO's bombing campaign, stories circulated about Gaddafi's forces committing mass rape, even being supplied with Viagra to do it. Amnesty repeated some of these claims before investigating fully. The political climate was primed for intervention, and the result, a destroyed country, humanitarian disaster, ongoing violence, and open slave markets. Haiti, 2004. After President Aristide was removed, Amnesty focused heavily on local violence, police brutality, armed groups, that sort of thing. But US-backed destabilization and the abuses of the UN peacekeeping mission, cholera, sexual exploitation, received far less attention. The structural causes of suffering were minimized. Now let's talk about Syria, 2011. Amnesty leaned heavily on the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a one-man operation funded by Western governments. Meanwhile, US and coalition airstrikes, other war crimes, hardly made it into high-profile reporting. Using opposition-linked sources shaped a narrative that fit Western foreign policy. Now we turn to Venezuela, 2019 to 2023. Amnesty documented government repression, arbitrary detentions, torture, attacks on journalists, but sanctions explicitly designed to collapse the economy, they were barely mentioned. Millions of civilians suffered from shortages, inflation, lack of medicine, yet the headlines focused on the government mismanagement rather than the foreign-engineered economic collapse. And now today, in Iran, Amnesty covers the crackdown, arrests, executions, and violence against protesters. That part is real and deserves attention. But decades of US sanctions which have crushed civilians, creating shortages and fueled unrest, it's almost invisible. The story is simplified into a neat, oppressive regime versus heroic protesters narrative, masking the structural violence inflicted by the external powers. Across these cases, the pattern is obvious. Governments the West wants to isolate get amplified, while Western allies and the destruction of their policies inflict get downplayed. Amnesty International isn't just documenting human rights. Sometimes intentionally or through structural bias, it functions as a megaphone for US foreign policy. So the next time you see a high-profile Amnesty report about targeted government, ask yourself, who's really being held accountable here and who's being shielded from scrutiny? That's the story behind the headlines.